Hey everyone, I'm sitting here with Delilah Boucoup.
Yes, you
Did I
said it
did I
correctly.
say
You're
that
one of
correctly?
the few, Paco.
Oh my goodness. What a pleasure to have you, Delilah. How
Thank
is
you
it
so much.
going?
I'm doing great. Yeah.
Tell me more.
Tell me more about how I'm doing great. Well, my show
Yes.
is just about to open, so that's part of why I'm feeling great.
Uh-huh.
And we've been working so hard on the show, and we're just 2 days away from opening. The excitement is building. Yes.
Tell me, and of course, for those people that don't know, obviously, this is an Annie Lennox
Hmm.
Eurythmics Experience. How did the
Yes.
idea come about?
Well, I have been dreaming about doing this show for many, many years, probably since I was a young woman driving around in my mom's Honda Civic, blasting the AM FM radio, and I heard Sweet Dreams Are Made of This for the very first time. Do you remember that
Of
song?
course I do.
Yes, it's iconic. So I fell totally in love with Annie Lennox, her sound, and her legendary band, the Eurythmics.
Yes.
And the love affair has never ended for me.
And and how did it become a reality or when?
This is a long process. I am coming to Puerto Vallarta from Seattle, Washington, and I left Seattle during the pandemic. I have done little bits of this show, and it has been in germinating in my mind, since I was living in Seattle and doing a few shows with some of these songs. But it really didn't start to come together until I talked to my director, Jordan Carnegie, and you probably know him from Hedwig over at the
Yes.
Palm. And I had been talking to Jordan and Mark Rome, of course, who manages both the Palm and Coco. And I said, I've had this dream for an Annie Lennox and Eurythmics show. What do you guys think? And they both were like, yes, this sounds great. This is the perfect time. So that completely terrified me in the moment, but I knew, if you're not terrified a little bit, then you're not dreaming big enough. I knew that much.
So I let me ask you this. Does this mean that people that have had the pleasure of hearing you sing live have already heard some Annie Lennox songs performed by you?
They have here because I included one of the songs in my show in my jazz show this
Uh-huh.
year. I did sort of a down tempo jazzy version of Here Comes the Rain Again.
Oh,
So that
nice.
was very popular in my jazz show, and that was just a little warm up for what they're going to hear
That's
on
wonderful.
Friday.
Now,
Yeah.
let us step back a little bit because I am sure that there might be some people out there that are not familiar with you. And we want to
Hmm.
make sure that they feel welcome as well.
Yeah.
I have seen your name associated and your whole look and everything seems to me associated with jazz.
Hmm.
Um, who are your muses?
Well, Annie Lennox is definitely one of my biggest, my most favorite muse and my biggest inspiration in my life. I'm sort of a multi genre artist. So I do cabaret, I can perform in musicals because I dance well enough to perform in musicals.
Mm-hmm.
I used to have a rock and roll band, I've done some burlesque. So it's hard to pin me down. Jazz has really been my focus in the last, I would say, 12 years. And when I came to Puerto Vallarta 5 years ago, that was something that I really wanted to focus on and emphasize when I was first here because the Jazz Foundation had closed a couple of years before I arrived, and I felt like I wanted to be part of the revival of the jazz scene and really bring it to the theater.
How did
Yeah.
that turn out?
It's an interesting journey with the jazz because we're in a land of drag queens and tribute shows, and people are here to have fun and not think too much and have, a great time in Puerto Vallarta. Jazz, I think to people feels like it's a little more serious music. And my shows are very fun, but you have to be in the right mood for jazz. And a lot of times people just want to relax and hear a tribute show.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
So let's talk about the show production itself. People are going to go enjoy your singing, but tell me, is there a band? Is there what is the experience going to be like?
For the Eurythmics show or the jazz
Yes,
show?
the
Okay.
the Eurythmics show.
There won't be a band for the Eurythmics show. I will have Paul Lyon on guitar because, of course, Annie Lennox had a partner in music, and his name is Dave Stewart. He was a guitar player and the co-writer of all the songs. So I felt it was important to bring a guitar player in who could sort of play that role. So Paul will be playing on some of the songs that we have. The tracks, I wanted to use the tracks because the Eurythmics really were some of the first to in the 80s to layer the synth pop sounds. They had multiple synthesizers on the stage at one time. And it's so hard to get that sound, from a four-piece band. You really, they had 10 people in their band at any time. So, yeah, so we're using
Excellent,
tracks.
excellent. And remind me of the actual dates. It's right here in front of my nose, Paco. April 18 and 25th. This is at 8 p.m.
At Coco Cabaret.
at Coco Cabaret.
Yeah.
Have you performed there already, or
No,
no? This is your
that's
first
my
time?
first time.
Are you
I'm
excited?
very excited. Very excited. When we first agreed to perform this show, we weren't sure if Coco would be open. That was last year when we agreed to do this show. But so it was not sure if we were going to be at Coco or the Palm. I'm so happy the Coco is open and ready to receive us because it's a big show. I have 4 dancers, I have 2 backup singers, guitar player. I have a few different directors that are helping us with this. And we're using both stages, both levels of the stage to really showcase this music. It's Jordan and Jordan Carnegie is directing this show. And we decided it's sort of like a musical. It's a musical tribute to the Eurythmics and Annie Lennox, but the arc of the show, and because we have a cast of characters, is somewhat like a musical. So, and also we wanted to use the LED screens for all the visual effects going on during the whole show. It's a whole experience. You're going to be immersed in the Eurythmics experience.
This is wonderful. And I'm sure that fans of Annie Lennox and fans of the Eurythmics will jump at the opportunity.
I think so.
Tell me something that will help those people that are not familiar with Annie Lennox or the Eurythmics to get excited. Like for somebody that maybe knows a couple of the really primordial songs, but is not really familiar with the band or with Annie Lennox. And you should, because she's a kick-ass lady.
Yes.
But for those
absolutely.
people that may have been sleeping on the moon, and that's okay too, what can you say?
I would say now the Eurythmics were popular by and large, or in part, let's say, because MTV, the video programming, was started to become very popular. So all of the artists at that time jumped at the chance to use video to become popular, and they were big hits on MTV because their visuals were so unusual. So I would I would YouTube "Sweet Dreams Are Made of This" and watch the original video. I would also look at just some of their early videos and really get the vibe. And then I would also look. Her first solo album was called Diva.
Diva.
Yes, and definitely watch some videos of Diva because then she's not only an incredible singer, a credible musician, but it's also about her visuals. She's such a visual artist and her look, and you want to get the whole scope of her whole vibe. So that's what I would do.
Is there something that we're missing? Something that you want to make sure that people know?
Well, make sure that you book your tickets online. The tickets are selling very fast. And so we open April 18th, Friday night at 8 p.m. And you can go on cococabaret.com to buy your tickets. So that's coco-cabaret.com to buy your tickets. And you definitely want to buy tickets online because they're moving very fast. Same thing for April 25th. Friday night, 8 p.m. Buy online because this show is already very, very popular. And we want you to come. We're so excited to present this show and we want you to be there for sure.
Well, I appreciate your enthusiasm, and I
Yes.
love the fact that we get a chance to have a little conversation.
Thank you.
I hope Jordan is doing better today than yesterday,
Yes.
and I hope he continues to improve. Please send my love back to him.
Yes.
And Delilah, I wish you much, much success
Thank you so much.
in this performance,
Thank you.
and I'm so grateful that you came.
Yes. Thank you very much, Paco.
My pleasure.
We'll see you at the show.
Hopefully, yes.
Yes.
Excellent.